The Spurs come to Milwaukee and get the job done. A quick one-game road trip for San Antonio. They win it 127-95 and lock up the second seed in the West. 7 players in double figures in this game tonight, led by Victor with 23 points. Stephon Castle with his 4th career triple-double. And the list goes on and on and on. Of course, the Spurs have 8 guys averaging double figures, which would be the most ever in league history if that holds. And we saw the depth continue to come through in this game today. Jacob Toby and Sean Elliott back with you here on Spurs Live. You asked Devin in the postgame, how do you get up for this one? It could be a hard one. No Giannis. The Bucks are struggling. It's an afternoon matinee game, and they came to work and got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, look, they had 35 assists on 49 made buckets. I still think the ball movement could have been even better. But, the Bucks defense was so porous at times. The shots were there, so why not just take them? But our guys did enough, and they got out of this game without any injuries. And so, now these guys can all, get on the plane, hopefully get home quickly, put their feet up on the couch, and root for the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. No doubt about it, of course.
That's the proper thing to do.
Steph Castle checked out of this game with 9 rebounds, and then we saw him check back in, grab the 10th rebound, and then he came out. So he got his 4th career triple-double.
Yeah, you did. And it's nice to see Steph have a nice scoring performance, and he distributes the basketball extremely well. I mean, you got to do that when you have a game like he did earlier this year, a 40-point triple-double. Just don't see that happen very often. But, I mean, you make passes like this, leading Devin Vassell to the basket, nice finishes at the rim. That could have easily been an and one, and then he's there clearing up the defensive glass. Big smile. As soon as he comes down with it, he knew exactly what was going on. Nice rousing ovation from his teammates as well. Well-earned triple-double for Steph Castle.
Castle now top 5 all time in Spurs triple-doubles. He has 4. Victor has 4 as well. So there you go. You're leaving me now, aren't you? You got to go somewhere.
Yes. Just a short little trip, but I will be back hopefully on Monday. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I'll be excited.
I will see you at home against the Bulls.
Yeah.
And Victor Wembanyama, will see him continuing his WemVP campaign, mixing everybody up on the floor tonight. 23 points, 15 rebounds, and a block from Victor. More Spurs Live postgame with just me coming on after this. Welcome back to Milwaukee, 127-95. The final score. The Spurs win their 56th game of the season. They lock up the second seed in the West with the win today. They also eliminate the Bucks from postseason contention. Jacob Toby back with you here on Spurs Live postgame. Stephon Castle, 4th career triple-double. That ties him with Victor Wembanyama and Tim Duncan for 5th on the all-time Spurs triple-double list. So Victor, Castle, and Timmy all with 4 triple-doubles. 7 Spurs in double figures for Mitch Johnson's squad. And here he is at the podium after tonight's win.
I think him continuing to really make an effort intentionally to rebound. I think we've seen enough, and it's not numb to it, but the playmaking, the creation, the scoring, even the shooting now has really been pretty dang consistent for a stretch. The rebounding adds a whole another element, whether it's offensively with his dynamic athleticism and creating extra possessions and drawing fouls, or defensively, because if he rebounds the ball, that means our fast break's already started. And so I think that, for me, has been really impressive of him as of late.
With regard to that aforementioned clinching of
to it, but the playmaking, the creation, the scoring, even the shooting now has not really much, because they don't lose very often. So pretty dang consistent again for a stretch. There's the rebounding adds a whole other element, whether it's offensively with his dynamic athleticism and creating extra possessions and drawing fouls, or what seed we are and who we play, and the schedule will be unfolded as the season ends up. But yeah, we just got to try to keep getting better.
How much does having lots of good rebounders in a lineup factor into how you shape your lineups? Because it seems like you always have like 3 or 4 guys that are very plus quality rebounders in their position.
Yeah, I think it definitely is important for us, because it's the bridge of completing the defensive possession and then leading into the offensive possession. And then if we have multiple people rebounding, that means we typically have multiple people running ahead of the basketball, which means we have multiple people who are pushing the basketball And that, with our roster or different lineups that you alluded to, just allows that much of a different look in transition, which is really hard then to, whether it's match up in the half court or just stop, because you're constantly probably cross-matched and stopping different people, bringing up the basketball with pace and with momentum.
Honestly, I'm not even sure how they score this, but like Victor seems to box in instead of out a lot of the time. And you have so many of these guys that he'll like tip the rebound to, and I don't know which one gets credit, but like it seems like you've built these lineups that are designed for him to tip the ball to somebody and they initiate the break.
And, you know, I'm not that smart. I appreciate that. I do think that tipping aspect, though, that you talked about on the rebounds is important, just because some of these teams have really, really physical players or offensive rebounders. And for us, at times, because we're not built the same, it may take multiple people trying to get that guy off the board. So the traditional sense of the box out is not always helpful for us in those situations. And so our activity and our anticipation can be our form of boxing out at times. And when we have strength in numbers doing that, I think it gives you more real estate covered around the rim or wherever that rebound goes. And then if you do tip it to your teammate, again, then that is just like yourself getting the rebound, and then it leads to the fast break. And again, when we have the lineups that are very capable now in terms of playing to their strengths with the anticipation activity, and then also as being the person that's the catalyst for leading the fast break, that's when you do see those waves of us playing with pace.
Doc mentioned before the game, too, the beautiful game aspect to how you guys are sharing the ball. 35 assists tonight. Can you get better in that category? Or?
I mean, you can always get better because we're not perfect. The guys' intentions are in a really good spot. I think they are celebrating each other's success. And when the one guy passes to the second guy passes to the third guy, well, the first guy that passes doesn't get a stat, but he does get acknowledged and he does get celebrated. And I think if that fills up your cup and you get acknowledged, then that will continue to have positive reinforcement on the behavior that we're trying to emphasize. And so that's a good thing.
There's your head coach, Mitch Johnson, after his squad gets its 56th win of the season. You heard him talk about the rebounding advantage tonight. They out-rebound the Bucks 41-37. Last 4 games, they have out-rebounded teams 211 to 134, and they've led the NBA in rebounding over the last 14 games at just under 50, and they've won now for the 4th time in their last 6 games by 25-plus points or more. So this team is humming right now on all cylinders, and the vibes are high. Bismack on the speaker with Luke Cornett acting like an offensive lineman or a quarterback. Yeah, it's all going well right now. We got more Spurs Live postgame coming up. Welcome back to Milwaukee, where the Spurs beat up on the Deer in the Deer District 127-95. The final score. The Spurs have now won 8 straight games. Remember, they won 11 straight about a month ago, and they have continued to be the second best team and one of the better teams in the NBA all season long, wrapping up the 2nd seed in the West tonight with the win, eliminating the Bucks from playoff contention. And the Spurs head back home for a quick 1-game homestand against the Chicago Bulls. That's on Monday at 7 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network. Spurs Live get you started at 6:30 with Nate Ryan and TJ Ford. Chicago 12th in the East right now. They play the struggling Grizzlies tonight, and they have not had Anthony Simons in the lineup. Not sure if he's going to be able to play in that game on Monday, but of course the former Spur Trey Jones will make his return to San Antonio for that game as well. So a 1-game road trip homestand rather for the Spurs, and then on the road for 3, and then back home for the final 4-game homestand of the regular season, and then to the playoffs for your San Antonio Spurs. It's been a fun ride being along with you all season long. It's been a great vibes, as you've seen, with the boys as well. Keldon with the speaker, and the guys taking care of business on a Saturday matinee here inside of Fiserv Forum. Stephon Castle with his 4th career triple-double, tying Tim Duncan and Victor Wembanyama 5th on the all-time triple-doubles list with 4. Victor with 23 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. 127-95 the final score. 8th straight win for San Antonio. For my partner who left me, Sean Elliott. And our entire crew, I'm Jacob Toby saying good night. Thanks for watching Spurs Live postgame, everybody. Talk to you Monday.